well, I ended up exchanging them. Went with the 12D. That's the move right there. These fit better of the two and actually allows me to wear my preferred thin sock with a nice, good fit. It's snug to the instep, not like painful. I mean, it's like a not quite a firm handshake, but I think it's because these cowboy boots have thinner leathers. It doesn't feel like as tight necessarily as some of my Knicks, as an example, but it's snug. There's no movement. There's barely any heel slip, just like the correct amount, like you're supposed to have with a pull-on, where when you take a step, you lift your foot up, your heel kind of gets off the bottom of the insole before your foot lifts slightly, and then the toe room is actually quite nice. The issue I was worried about going from that double E to the D, but I went longer, was the big toe push, because this is I wouldn't say it's a pointed toe, but it's pointier than maybe say the 11067. But with the extra length of the 12D, it kind of pushes the curve forward a little bit. So my toe actually kind of feels like it's in the same place as the 11 double E pair, but it's more comfortable, or the same, or maybe more comfortable. And that 11 double E I had to wear with the thicker boot sock, those Dickies boot socks I have, to be able to keep the rest of the boot feeling kind of snug, whereas this I'm wearing with my thin socks. So same socks I like to wear my Rios and Mercedes with. Actually, most of my boots, all of my PNWs, I try to wear with the thinner socks. I just prefer it. So this is the way to go. And I think what I learned with probably most cowboy boots, but definitely with the Ariat Benchmade line, but I'm thinking it probably applies to all Ariats, and probably even Rios, because I've heard the same in some reviews, is you kind of size these cowboy boots that have inserts, these foam kind of footbeds, which are similar to a sneaker. You size them like a sneaker. So when they say true to size, I think what I'm going to take that as meaning now is get your sneaker size. I wear 12 sneakers, 12 cowboy boot seems to work. I heard the same with Rios because of their insole, that you should kind of go up a half from your Brannick, which that takes me also to a 12. I think I just got a random situation with those 11 and a halves being a double E, even though I ordered the D, and they actually fit fine, but I'm guessing I'd probably fit just fine in a 12D Rios too, with the insole that they ship, the foam insole. Now, if you have cowboy boots that don't have the insole, or you're removing them from these, you probably got to go down. This pair would definitely fit bigger without the insole, because it's a pretty substantial, kind of like sneaker running shoe style foam insole. So I'm guessing if I took it out, I could definitely wear a very thick sock, but it's possible it'd be too big. So maybe if you buy a boot like this that comes with it and you plan to remove the insole, then maybe you go true to size. Definitely don't get sneaker size, because then it's not going to apply. And I remember those Chisos I had last summer that I returned immediately because of the kind of poor quality for the extreme cost, which I pointed out in the earlier part of this video. Those being $550 at the time, now $600, whatever. The size on those, I got those true to size, 11.5D, and they were snug but not uncomfortable. They had the foam insole, so I'm wondering if maybe the 12, even with the Chisos, probably would have made more sense to make it firm, but not. I just remember them being very tight in the instep. It wasn't uncomfortable, but it was very tight through here, whereas these feel just more comfortable. So yeah, that's the sizing game. I did return the other pair area. It seems to make it easy. You just go on, you log in when you have your little, whatever, the free Ariat account, I forget what they call it. But if you just basically give them your email and set that up, then you get free returns and exchanges. What the exchange really is you just return the other one. So after I got this 12, it takes them about a week to get it shipped out to you. Put them on, realized they had the better fit. I went ahead and boxed up the other, well, I boxed them up already because I was convinced they weren't the right size, the 11.5 double E. Put it back in the mail to them. They give you a code via email. I did the UPS store one, you scan it, they print the label, put it on the package, and the other pair's back to them, and then, they'll refund me once they receive it. They said 14 business days potentially with the shipping time. So you do have to spend, the additional cost to have both. You will get it back, but I guess I would point that out as being maybe different than some other companies. As an example, I recently went through, and I'll do another video on Parkhurst, but the size wasn't right with that pair either, and I did an exchange, and he just simply sent me the other pair out and a label to return the other one. So I never was out a second purchase, if you will, whereas Ariat, I had to buy both. Being a $250 boot though, it wasn't too extreme to, have an extra 250 bucks kind of out of pocket temporarily, and I'll get the refund back in a couple weeks. But if it was a more expensive pair, that could be a problem for some people, where you maybe are going to wait to get your money back and then buy the next one instead of kind of floating. I really did want to do side by side, which I did, and after trying this one on and then trying the other one back on again to double check, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the way to go. So that was kind of why I did it. But if I buy another pair in the future, I'll just start with the 12D, because I think that's the way to go. These are really, really cool boots. They're just exactly what I wanted. I still can't believe the price. Maybe they're doing that to kind of undercut and get the name out or something, because this is not what you see. Like if you look at normal Ariats, they have a lot of them have a plastic. I don't know, maybe it's still comfortable, but it just looks cheap. They have a plastic heel stack. This is stacked leather. They have a kind of the Ariat logo kind of stamped in the leather, which isn't awful, but that logo right there. But I don't want to have that logo. None of my other boots have their logo on them like that. The only thing I could think of is my Fry boots have the little Fry logo there, but it's a really small logo, so you almost don't see it. But this looks way cleaner. I loved how this pair, I know some cowboy boot guys are really into all the designs. I actually like the plain, it's very basic, some little basic stitching there. Very simple. I really dig that. These pull loops are actually very useful. Another thing, by the way, about the sizing, these shafts are significantly tighter and actually better than the 11.5 double E. My assumption is 11.5 double E, they figure you have a bigger foot, you're gonna need a bigger shaft to be able to get your big foot in, so they made it a bigger shaft. I kind of thought the other pair, the shaft was potentially too significant. It was like up there with those Van Cleefs, but I would say it felt worse, or maybe it's because it's a Roughout, it was catching my pants. It just seemed strangely big, whereas this D pair, the shaft is great. It's snugger, doesn't stick your pants out at all. It looks perfect. So it's dope. I like this design feature, similar to the Rios, where they have their logo kind of in the pull tab inside. There's some text in there, it looks like. I didn't read what that says. Handmade, Leon, Mexico, from English Roughout, lined in Italian calfskin. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's probably still hard to read, but just figured I would let you guys see that real quick. But yeah, these are super dope. If I nitpick, the only thing I don't like about them is this block heel. I think would look way cooler, especially considering the height. This is not like your typical ropers. I feel like roper heels generally are a little lower. This kind of feels almost as tall as like a typical cowboy boot, rider or whatever. I'm not a cowboy boot expert, but this is like if in the PNW, like Nick space, to me this is more like a classic heel, whereas ropers normally have something more like a moderate stack. This is definitely a higher heel, and with it being a block, it just seems a little bit odd. I guess I could sand it or go to a cobbler and have them cut that in to make it look more like a dogger cowboy hoop, Cuban heel, whatever. But I'm not going to do that right now. The finishing on this heel stack is very nice at this point. Maybe when they get worn out or worn in and they're scratched up, but it doesn't look bad. I don't mind it. That's just like that's the only thing I could call out. The rest of this boot is a freaking home run. Like, I'm just super impressed. And I for the money, it's ridiculous. I get that it's made in Mexico, but so are Chisos that are $600. Tacovas, I think, are $300 to $400. Like, this is a better made boot than all of them. This is not plastic. This is leather up here, leather stack. Really nice. 270 Goodyear welt. Leather, this is a butyl leather sole, which is like Wolverine 1000 Mile uses it. It's impregnated with some type of butyl oil or something that supposedly makes it a little bit more durable for the rain. Like, these are really nice details. The finishing on the welt is really clean. I think I showed this earlier, but on the other pair, I don't know, look, they even just, the finishing where the welt joint meets the heel ran, it's like really nice. Like this is very good. Maybe this one's not quite as nice, but it's still very decent. Stitching is great, no issues. This alignment, you see that sometimes in cowboy boots where this is supposed to be a solid line, if you will, where they have the whatever, the side welt, but then it'll be like misaligned where the back will be higher or lower. Typically I think I see the back part will be slightly up and it's misaligned. These aren't like that at all. Both sides, well done. Both boots, like, it's perfect. And then on top of the, the steal of a deal, these went on sale for Labor Day. They did a sale on the sale items. So if you bought these during the Labor Day sale, that's another $50 off. So these are $200 boots during the Labor Day sale. I actually contacted Ariat to see if they'll, I'm thinking of Oak Street Bootmakers when they ran a sale after I made a purchase before the sale. They credited me, they refunded me the difference. Small company, they care. I'm hoping Ariat does it, but we'll see. I'm not holding my breath. Being a big company, they might not just be able to handle doing that. Or they'll say, well, you bought them before the sale, sorry, whatever, I don't mind. $250 was still a great price, but $200 right now, well, during the Labor Day sale for these, it's ridiculous. It's freaking amazing. I might even get nuts and, buy another pair. That James with the more cowboy pointed toe and even taller heel was kind of looking interesting to me, and for $200, shoot, it's kind of hard to pass up. Just put them in the closet for like next season or something. It's ridiculous. Yeah, totally happy with these. Ariat Benchmade line, super dope. Crazy deal. Like the bang for the buck on this is off the charts. The comfort is amazing. Like they're super comfortable. I don't know. It's really making me rethink. I honestly don't. This plus some other recent buys, I'm really starting to maybe I'm done with the heavy duty stuff. I already knew I'm done with like the work leather stuff. Like I knew that immediately after I'm gonna sell my one pair that has work leather, or the heavy duty work leather, but even like the 64 stuff, that's too much for me. I like the heritage leathers, Horween stuff, Cormac Cell, Predator, Orange, that kind of thing. But these are just so comfortable, man. And the Western, the cowboy boot, man, timeless, peak fashion right there. Yeah, cheers.